WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, today at the Hanse Spirit 2019 in Hamburg, together with
Darran Lovely from Teeling Whiskey.
Very good. And you have an interesting European title. Would you mind sharing that with us?
My official title, as my business card states, is European Commercial Manager.
Oh, I have no idea what a commercial manager does for Europe. Could you enlighten me, maybe?
Well, I'll tell you what a commercial manager should do.
Let's do that.
They're probably two different things.
Yes.
So, a commercial manager essentially comprises of a sales and a marketing role.
Right.
So you're supposed to be responsible for selling the product, but also the marketing and the branding side of it. So to make sure it's done in a sustainable and correct manner, that you're not just shipping loads of cheap product to get big sales, but you're building the brand as you build the sales.
Now that's an interesting statement, building the brand. What does the brand Teeling now stand for, in your opinion, and what should it stand for, if there's two differences there?
Well, thankfully, I don't feel there are two differences.
Very good.
And your interesting phrase of the question, what does it stand for now? And for me, the Teeling Whiskey Company have been consistent, and that's one thing that I think they've done very well. The consistency has been there since day one, and they've followed that through. I mean, there's a legacy here with the Teeling family going back to the Cooley Distillery and the Kilbeggan Distillery, which you know a lot about. And thankfully they've brought a lot of the learnings and the successes from that. And Jack and Stephen, who are the new generation of Teeling family, have built on that. And especially, so you're asking what they stood for. So going back to your question, they stand for innovation. They stand for creativity. They stand for experimentation. And they are leading lights in this new Irish contemporary craft premium discovery range of Irish whiskey.
Sorry, you got the word renaissance. Exactly. I totally agree. It's really a boom that's happening. And when I was there last summer, I went to the gift shop, bought something, of course. Experimental cask, chestnut, not mine, I'm sorry. I did not like that, but there's been very many other single cask, experimental casks where I've gone, wow. And that's what they do. They experiment, they try, they make sure, hey, this is good, this is not.
Exactly. And every year we bring out new experiments, essentially, new innovations. And the great thing about that is, because we have quite a broad range now, everybody can find the whiskey that appeals to them. So the chestnut didn't resonate with you, but plenty of other Teeling casks have, and that's the important thing. If you give breadth and diversity to the whiskey category, then everybody has an opportunity to find the whiskey that they love, that they feel, as I said, resonates with them the most.
Exactly. I'm going to do something here. I love Revival. Unfortunately, I think this is number 5, right? No, that's not the 4, exactly. It's the last one. But if I may ask one simple question here, whose idea was this mammoth, heavy, wonderful piece of machinery almost, all right? I mean, this is fantastic. Whose was it? Engineering.
Feat of engineering.
Thank you. Your words are better than mine. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it?
I tell you what, I'm really glad that you've pointed this out, because one of the things I do when I meet with people either at a whiskey fair or at a master class or a tasting or even in the distillery, and when they want to taste the Revival, I take out the cork and I hand it to them, and I make sure that their palm is open, because when people try to pick it up like that, like a claw, they drop it. So I place it in the palm of their hand and they go, wow.
Exactly.
And the reason why I like to do that is because when you buy the bottle in a shop, be it in the naked bottle in that format,
it's a beautiful, beautiful bottle, by the way, right? In a beautiful box as well, yes.
It does. But what you don't know when you buy it like that, you don't know about the cork. You don't know that it is a solid metal cork. So when you bring it home, you get surprised, unrequited to yourself.
Exactly. And that's the expectations, and the quality is I expected this and I actually received this, and it's even better. I love that. Fantastic.
People aren't buying this bottle for the quality of the cork because they don't know. But they are happily they have that experience, as you said, that their expectations for the cork they haven't even thought about the cork, you know.
As long as it's not a screw cap, I'm okay, usually, right?
And Teeling, I suppose this is what we try and get across. We're thinking of everything. We're talking about all the details. So obviously the main part is the liquid, the mash bill we've used, the fermentation, distillation techniques, the casks we've used to mature it, the environment we've done it. But then the packaging is part of it, because it is a gifting product, and it's something that you can either happily hand over or happily keep in your own collection. You know.
Exactly. Now let's talk a little bit about the new Teeling whiskey. So I actually was one of the first that had this, the single pot still whiskey in the blue, wonderful Irish Dublin color tube and so on. And of course, it's a 3-year-old whiskey, and my expectations were much higher than I was. Oh, this is gonna be great. And it's like, well, 5 more years is gonna be great. I think an 8-year-old single pot still from Teeling is gonna actually blow Redbreast out of the water. My personal opinion, but it's not 8 years yet. All right, and so that's one thing. Another thing is you're actually having other experiments coming out in the future. Would you mind sharing something we might be able to find somewhere in this world, if not just in Ireland?
Absolutely. So just to go back, I mean, your point about the pot still, I think, was well made, and it's something that we are very focused on in Teeling, is trying to manage those expectations for people like yourself, who've experienced our full range right up to the vintage reserve range. You have placed Teeling on a certain pedestal, and we're happy that you put us there, because that's where we want to be. We want to be that premium discovery brand. But bringing out a new young whiskey from the new distillery has challenges, and because people automatically are going to benchmark it against our single malt
Redbreast 12.
Redbreast 12, yeah. If you're looking at the same category, pot still category, it's Redbreast 12.
There's not much out there.
It's green spot, it's yellow spot. There you go. So the big focus for us at the moment with the single pot still is that we are releasing it slowly into the Irish market initially, and then slowly it'll move into Europe. Realistically, it'll come to Germany probably in September. Then it will be batch 3. It will have another year of maturation in the cask, so it'll be over 4 years at that stage. So what we're telling people is the single pot still is on a journey. We have begun the journey last October in Dublin. We released the first batch of the single pot still. Huge interest. It sold out very quickly. People were intrigued by the fact that it was the first new whiskey out of Dublin in over 50 years. It was the first.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. So there was a lot of really historically important points of note about this particular release, and we were very proud of it from that point of view. We are not just focused on Teeling, but we're focused on Dublin whiskey, and we're focused on Irish whiskey, because we're trying to grow the category. And
you're doing a fairly good job of it. What was it, 400% in 10 years? I mean, not bad, huh?
Yeah, we're making nice strides. But the pot still is on a journey. It's a work in progress. Every batch will have a greater length of maturation in the cask. Every batch we're learning as well, because we are maturing the liquid in different styles of casks. And Alex Chasko, our master distiller, is making little tweaks, because he's also a master blender. So every batch we're making little tweaks to say, okay, can we make a few little perfections here? And we're on a really nice journey of
discovery, I hope.
Self-discovery.
I mean, as you said, 50 years. No one's done this for 50 years, so you have to relearn the entire process. You have to relearn, okay, what Big Bertha can do and what she can, and so on, and all the other things. It's actually a wonderful, wonderful discovery, and it's just as you said, it was on the pedestal, and that was the problem. Of course, the price is also where you have the certain expectations as well, but as I said, I really do think in 8 years you're going to blow a lot of people's minds with this, and I'm totally in agreement. That's a wonderful, wonderful journey. And isn't whiskey all about the journey anyways? We're always just learning. We're always just kind of adapting and figuring things out, and erasing other things and making new memories, and it's just fabulous. It's a wonderful thing.
And the great thing about the pot still is that we're on this journey together. Every batch is numbered, so people are getting to experience the evolution from batch to batch.
I have to go get a batch number 2 now. Oh no.
Terrible, isn't it? Terrible. Tough life for you.
Very good. And is there anything else we can expect in the future? Just not the single pot still journey.
As you're well aware, Teeling they always have a few ideas up their sleeve. We have a lot of different styles of liquid in different casks in our maturation warehouse. Some will never see the light of day, but the good thing about it is when you have that creative mindset, some of those liquids will turn out really, really well. One project that we're really proud of, I'll just show you that.
Oh, let's see here. Once again, almost you can see this here. Interesting, yes. Red plantation rum. Oh.
Right. So last week actually in Copenhagen, we did the official launch of this collaboration. So it probably started about 2 years ago. Alex Chasko met with Alexandre Gabriel, who's the master blender for plantation rum, also known as a bit of a maverick in the industry. Very creative, very innovative guy, looks to break down barriers, looks to innovate, and he really likes the collaborative aspect of the spirits industry. And Alex Chasko is cut from the same cloth. He was a brewer by trade.
They somehow make the best spirits, don't they?
There's definitely a link there, right? There's definitely a link there. And Alex, as you know, was the innovation distiller in Cooley and then graduated to master distiller in Teeling. So he's been on a journey himself. So you get these two guys in a room and they did a really interesting talk together. It was called Geeking Out with the Blenders.
I can imagine that. I like doing that as well.
And that was last summer at Tales of a Cocktail in New Orleans. So these guys really bounce off each other when they get together. And Alexandre came over to Teeling. Alex brought him up to the warehouse. He came with a very specific idea in his mind about what type of casks he wanted to get from us. He was looking for some like heavily peated, double distilled, kind of old style whiskey. Alex opened his eyes to the range of whiskey that we have, and he ended up going away with some of our really nice signature single malt casks and some of our rum casks that we use for our small batch, you know. And similarly, when Alex went down to Cognac, which is where plantation rum are based, he went down looking for the pineapple cask, the fancy Stiggins that everybody knows and loves, and he left with very different sizes of casks. He left with some Jamaican casks, he left with some Barbados casks, and some from French Guiana also. And over about 14 months, we matured our premium blended whiskey, which is the base blend of our small batch. This is basically an extension of our small batch range. Small batch is our flagship product. It is the best loved.
Can I grab it? No, it should be the wrong color. Yeah. Got it. Yes, thank you.
This is.
I think it must be the single grain I grabbed. I got the grain.
So yeah, it's an extension of our small batch product, and for 14 months, our premium blend sat in those 3 different styles of plantation rum casks, and then Alex blended them together and bottled them, and we launched them last week in Copenhagen to a lot of fanfare.
Copenhagen, I might have to go to Copenhagen now.
There you go. So hopefully this will come to potentially Germany maybe towards the end of the year, but it will go to some other key European markets. Yeah.
All right, very good. Wow, it is very interesting.
And what we like about this collaboration, it's what we call a two-way collaboration. Because of the cask exchange or the barrel swap, the plantation have launched their rum with a Teeling whiskey finish, and that's what's really
that is really cool, isn't it?
The influence of an Irish whiskey, a Teeling Irish whiskey, on a Jamaican rum, and then you see the influence. Yeah, exactly.
Fabulous. We have a lot to look forward to. I could be doing this for the next hour. I could geek out as well, but I'm going to end this interview here. WhiskyJason, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany, excited about the things that's going to happen and that are happening at Teeling. Very, very good. Together with
Darran Lovely.
All right, from Teeling Whiskey from Dublin. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.